Greetings Internet! Today I would like to talk to you about Sense8, which, for those of you that don't know, is a new TV series produced by Netflix. This series first came to my attention when one of the creators, Joe Straczynski, tweeted about it. That got my attention because he is the creators of one of my favourite series of all time, Babylon 5. He was one of 3 creators of this series, and arguably the other 2 are slightly more famous for things you may have heard of, Lana and Andy Wachowski. And those 3 together make a very interesting combination. While things like the Matrix sequels and Speed Racer aren't necessarily the most well-liked films, it's hard to argue that the Wachowskis don't have a flair for the visual aspect of directing. And Joe Straczynski has written some of my favourite pieces of television in existence. So what about Sense8? This is probably going to go into mild spoiler territory now, but if you've seen at least the trailer, it's probably not going to reveal much more than that would. The concept is fairly simple. There are 8 people, and through various circumstances, their minds become linked together. They can communicate, share thoughts and feelings, experiences, skills, and over the course of this series we learn what this means to them and to others. But what makes this kind of special is it's not 8 Americans. It's one of the most wildly diverse and multicultural casts I have ever seen in a television programme. There's a bus driver in Nairobi, a businesswoman and kickboxer in Seoul, a trans lesbian hacker and her girlfriend in San Francisco, a pharmacist in Mumbai, an Icelandic DJ living in London, a safecracker/criminal in Berlin, a gay Spanish actor in Mexico City, along with his lover and his beard, and finally a police officer in Chicago. The story takes place in all of those locations, and I understand a lot of it was actually filmed on location, which is massively ambitious, especially for a Netflix project. Although there is one place where the diverse multiculturalism does go a bit too far, and that is the opening credits. They're over 2 minutes long, and it consists of various shots of people and things from all over the world, and it's kind of banging you over the head with it. I've noticed that long credits seems to be a bit of a trend with the new Netflix shows. Without the limitations of fitting ad breaks into a specific time slot, creators are going wild with their opening credits again. It's the same for all the ones I've seen so far. House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, Daredevil, Sense8, they've all gone for these epic opening credits. And while some of them, House of Cards and Daredevil, work really well, others, Orange is the New Black and Sense8, they're just too long. So what about the show itself? At the start, I wasn't entirely sure that I enjoyed what I was seeing. And I think that part of the problem is that based on the people involved and the trailer, I was kind of expecting a sort of action thriller kind of affair. But what we actually got was more emotional drama. We slowly explore these characters as they get to know each other within the psychic link, generally only connecting in pairs when their emotional states are fairly similar. But once I'd had the chance to process that and adjust my expectations, I started to enjoy it a lot more. But even then, there were times it was a little bit frustrating. You know that they're building up to this big moment where all 8 of them are together and some major event happens. But it's essentially one long tease, and it never completely happens until right near the end. But along the way you do just get enough fun, exciting and different moments that keep you going and make you want to know more. One moment in particular sticks in my mind. I won't give you the exact details. They're all experiencing a concert which triggers some memories, and it's one of the most extremely graphic yet also extremely beautiful things I have ever seen on TV. It's not the kind of thing I would have ever expected to be shown, even on Netflix. Even though there have been similar stories in the past, the film In Your Eyes, for example, it still feels very unique. And I've come to the conclusion that I think a lot of that is to do with the pacing. As I mentioned earlier, it can be a bit slow and drawn out at times, but I realise that that's because without the constraints of network television and ads and stuff, they're able to spread out the story more like a book would. All the episodes go on Netflix at once, so they don't have to worry about people tuning in week to week. So it's all there as just one long 12-hour story. Sure, there are many other serialised TV series, but they're still geared towards getting you to come back next week or stay over the ad break. And this is the first series I can think of that wasn't really worrying about that. Now, of course, the whole thing is a bit weird and wonderful, so it's not going to be for everyone's tastes. But I do think everyone should try it to see if it is your taste. It certainly was to my taste, and I very much hope they get a green light for a second season and more. Have you seen it already? Tell me what you thought in the comments down below, and I will see you again next time.